First of all, I would like to say that it's an honor to be here sharing so many different kinds of research and works, and it's a pleasure to participate in such a project as Speak4Nature. And thank you for your presence here today in this morning. I brought here part of my PhD research, and I hope you enjoy it, my presentation. I chose Ecocide theme because I participate in a group of study in Brazil about this subject, and since 2021 I started also to participate in conference and happened at an international conference at that date, and since then I start to work with this theme. I brought here 5 aspects of the Ecocide subject. I will talk briefly about history and international campaign, and then I will try to focus in environmental scenario in Brazil, and then bring up the Ecocide law in Brazil. So, regarding the history, Ecocide and international criminal law, the first time that Ecocide was brought to discussion happened when a scientist called Arthur Galston used the word ecocide to denounce environmental destruction and the possible catastrophe to human health resulting from the North American action in Vietnam War, which caused the destruction of the Vietnamese forests to expose the guerrillas. I think it's important to highlight about this topic that in that war they used that chemical weapon called Agent Orange, which is very powerful to destroy everything, not only the environment but as well the communities that live around the place that was reached by that chemical weapon. And I think that's why Arthur Galston chose this word, ecocide, to describe the situation. Then, at the 1972, happened an important conference, the Stockholm Conference, and in that conference, the Prime Minister of Sweden, Olof Palme, he recognized in his speech that the Vietnam War was an ecocide.
Paula Higgins, the Scottish barrister known as Earth's lawyer, developed the legal framework for ecocide law. As one of the first to use the term ecocide, Olof Palme, Prime Minister of Sweden, spoke at the first United Nations Conference on the Environment in Stockholm in 1972.
Mr. President, in the field of the human environment, there is no individual future, neither for human beings nor for nations. Our future is common. We must share it together. We must shape it together.
Jan O. Carlson, one of Palme's speechwriters, met Paula Higgins in October 2014.
Okay.
Just by reminding them
now
of this
okay,
close.
Now, here you have it. You frog leaped there. Somehow you managed to make things happen very fast. And this is what I'm hearing. All the time you're talking about how somehow at that time with Olof Palme, what you were involved in, frog leaping, things were moving very fast. There was quantum leaps happening, moving fast, speaking out, being heard, making these connections fast. Applying that now today, at this existing time, where we're now more than ever requiring that quantum leap, so that we can actually take what was seeded here by Olof Palme in Stockholm in 1972. How do we take that quantum leap again and actually move fast, within the kind of, civilization's worth of 15 minutes, move this very, very quickly forward?
I think that it might be an answer to that question. Also emanating from Olof.
Yeah.
It was about peace work, peacekeeping. Oh. And it is the window of opportunity theory.
Yes.
You never know when it will happen. You have to work for it.
Yes.
Prepare for it.
Yes.
Go on with it. Yes. Never end. And suddenly
the window appears.
And then you have to know what to do. But what looks as a leapfrogging of a quarter of an hour or something is half a century of thinking.
Yeah.
So there is a link between being very careful, identifying the little openings,
yes,
and the absolute, almost impossible persistence towards the goal. And many times it doesn't open and you die without having arrived, and that is what you have to take. But
you paved the way for others.
Because when the window opens, you have to know what to do.
Yeah.
Well, it was a remarkable moment because it was recognized that they needed to criminalize ecological crimes in armed conflicts. At the 90s, an important thing to mention it was at that decade that the elements of the concept of ecocide was brought to discussion. So widespread, long-term, and severe, and then the intentional psychological element is required. And all these elements, it's nice to record because they will through history regard ecocide. I brought Paula Higgins as well because it's very important to mention her work. She was one of the most important people that brought the discussion in an international way, and she delivered a proposal about ecocide at the United Nations International Law Commission with the intention to include ecocide as a fifth crime in the International Criminal Court. I brought her concept because I think she was very successful to wrote this concept. I think she put the main maybe aspects of ecocide, the extensive damage, and also human rights. So peace and health. And I think it's important to note that nature, when we talk about nature, in inherent values, we need to focus and think that we need to consider humans, not human beings, and also future generations. But unfortunately, this proposal to modify the Rome Statute was rejected. Regarding the international campaign, Stop Ecocide is the most important movement, and they had a group of jurists that developed a legal definition about ecocide with the intention to help this international judicial conviction possible. And I think this movement also, it's very important to inspire other countries to put this legislation or develop this legislation in a national way. So, regarding environmental scenario in Brazil, I brought this picture because I think it's very impressive, this image. It's about last month. I don't know if you know about the fires in the forests that happened last month, but it was very heavy and reached three biomes: Amazon forest, Pantanal, and also Cerrado. And the fires were so heavy that the smoke covered 60% of the whole country. And the smoke is a toxic smoke. I live in the south, and we breathed toxic smoke for many days, and it was horrible, like apocalypse. You know, you saw the sun, the red sun in the sky, and the smoke when you open your window, and it was really scary situation. So here, this red spot is about the fires. As you can see, it's a really a horrible situation, serious situations. And the policy are investigating, and they discovered that the fires are caused most part because of the farmers and the land grabbers and the gold miners, and also the agribusiness. And they put fire for economical reasons, mainly to open the pasture to the cattle. And it's a really complex situation. That's why Ecocide, it's very important to achieve this law. I brought here some pictures regarding the situation: the red sun, the fire, the heavy fire in the forest, the cities covered by the smoke, and also the map, Brazilian map, also Latin American map, the red and orange color. It's about the fires and the heavy and the forest destroyed. And regard the law project, this was the first law project that, but this law is very specific. It's about the disaster that occurred in Mariana and Brumadinho that Yasna said before. But this is about the dam collapse that came from a mining company that destroyed all the cities, crosses many cities in Brazil. But Ecocide, as you know, can be other kinds of types of environmental massive destructions. Here is a picture about this disaster came from Mariana, and this brown stain is the mud, the toxic mud, the toxic mud that came from Mariana and crossed many cities in Minas Gerais to Espírito Santo, arriving in the Atlantic Ocean. So it's a massive destruction of all this area, and many people, I think every people lost everything. In my PhD research, I am trying to bring this kind of situation, because it's not about the environment, but as well the communities and as well the memories, because people, when lost everything, lost their memories, their history, their culture, they lost everything. So we need to consider these other aspects as well. So in this context, that was born Ecocide Brazil, this movement that I said before. I am part of this movement, and we start to discuss the Ecocide and create a legislation in Brazil about Ecocide. And we thought since the first time that we need to consider the main aspects of Brazil, because Brazil, as you know, is a big country and there are many kinds of different cultures, and we heard the social movements, the communities. Our group have not only jurists, but a sociologist, a ecopedagogist, a society civil as well, because I think it's very important when you develop a law to consider all these elements. We have the support, the Stop Ecocide and Climate Council, international campaigns. And in our view, we wrote this article trying to harmonize our legislation with the international discussion. So as you can see, all the elements can be seen: illegal, awareness, substantial probability, widespread, long-term damage, just to try to harmonize our legislation with the international discussion. In the conclusion, I put the hypothesis of my research. If the law project, I think if the law project is approved, we certainly will have a better preservation of the environment. Unfortunately, in Brazil, we don't have any specific law about this kind of situation to criminalize people that cause destructions. Only fines, compensation, indemnity. And also I think if the law project is approved, we will inspire other countries around the world. And I think it's a way to stop ecocide. So that's it, I think. Thank you for your attention. And I am available to talk about this subject.